What's up, everybody? It's me, True Star Screamer, and we're here to talk about the Metatravelers Legendari series. These guys, if you are a fan of the show, were on Figure Reaction on the Figure Action Podcast channel quite some time ago. They were with me and Mike, and we got to talk to these guys. I actually pledged while I was on the air for these guys. I actually ordered 6 of these figures. So these are just 2 right here, Epsilon and Obsidius. No, I am not going to be opening up all 6 of these guys on this channel. I'm kind of just going to do like an overview on these, or as Mike would call it, his impressions. Because, well, these guys are pretty much all in the same buck. And I've already opened up one of these guys, and it's kind of... I'm still trying to get my feel of how I honestly feel about these. I'm looking right now here at the Epsilon figure, and this, as you can see, here's their packaging. It's really well done packaging. You get to see everything you're getting. Wouldn't have minded a little bit of background art back there, but you know, that's how it is. But like right now, sealed in the box, I'm looking at this rifle, and I can see the barrel is already bent, and that actually reflects a lot of things about how these figures are. This isn't, as I like to put it, my honest reviews. This is definitely going to be one of those where, I mean, it's cool, it's neat, but these are definitely some challenges with these. And we'll get into this in some honest opinions. Some things are factual, some things are some things are subjective, some things are objective. But I'm looking at this effect. It's already, you can see that is actually you can't see it here. Bring that over here. That's a little curvy in there too, you know. So you'll be seeing how these things go. I mean, the artwork, for example, on all the sides of the boxes are great. You get a nice little breakdown of the figure on the backs of all of these. But we're going to be talking about, I want to say the Spire Guard. I can't remember the guy's name, but you'll see. Let's look at one of these figures out. This is the Spite Usurper. So I guess it's kind of one of the antagonists to it all. And I mentioned before, the buck is pretty much shared for all these figures. Visually, I like a lot of what's on here. So you get some great paint on here. Nice details, like how the magma skin is here, gives that nice glowing look to it. The head has these kind of cyber dreadlocks that remind me of the tentacles from the Sentinels from the Matrix. The soft goods here, there's wiring in it, which is always very neat. So those are things that are really well done. I mean, the paint is really neat, is well done on this guy. The face, you can make out the definition to it all. And when we talk to the accessories, I've got his sword here. It's got some really cool, neat looks with the translucent plastic and the coloring on that. You can see, I mean, you can even see like the buckles are painted on his armor. And you get it, and visually, you said it, and if this is what you want to do, this will look great with it. But once you start moving him around, you can kind of start encountering the challenges, as I'd like to say. Metatravelers elected to go with a kind of more 1/10 scale figure, which for aliens I've got no problem with that. You know, I've got here a Valaverse figure, and honestly, I can work. You can work with that together because it's an alien, so it might not necessarily be the same height as a human. So I'm okay with that. They went and they worked with the Four Horsemen Studios for their figure sculpting and toy design. And this is also, I believe, came from the same factory that Four Horsemen Studios figures come from. And you can definitely feel the experience on this. The best way to describe this is a Cosmic Legions figure on a Mythic Legions 1.0 body. In all the positives and, yes, the negatives on those figures. The whole thing is supposed to be modular. So yes, you're supposed to be able to pull the arms out of the sockets, pull the legs out, the knees out, the feet out, make it all modular. Cool, but with that, you lose a lot of things, including articulation, because all the joints are single jointed, including some of the tightness on the joints. This guy has a lot of loose parts to it. This reminds me of that one ogre-sized Cosmic Legion I had, where his wrist kept spinning so I couldn't have him hold his weapon. Yeah, this guy kind of has that going on. This figure has that going on with it. One of the first things I noticed when I got him out of the package is the joints. Single jointed, okay, bend inward, we're fine here. But when I took him out of the box, his arm bent out that way. He does not have an actual elbow right here. So, yeah, arms aren't supposed to move like that. Move in this way, move out that way. I mean, obviously you could just say, hey, don't do that, but there should be a stop there. I'm sorry. There should be some kind of elbow cap here. So that's one thing that kind of annoyed me when I first got him out of the package. And then it is the looseness to it. The wrist is loose. The hands pop out pretty decent. But at the same time, if you want to do anything with this guy, hit him with the hairdryer. The knees, the swivel here, same scenario. And also the same scenario of I could make him into, a dog. The knees aren't supposed to bend like that. If you get what I'm saying. It shouldn't do that. Spin it around and, you get your basic single jointed knee. But in general, the only thing that prevents the knee from staying straight is the armor, which pops off pretty easy. It's kind of cool that it's modular like that. So again, you can pop it all through, but okay, that actually has a stop on the lower knee. I can deal with that, so I'll forgive that, but the elbow should have had a stop like that, and that gets to me. So I want to talk about this popping off here. When I took this guy out of the package, this just pops right off, and that just pops right off. Huh. L-R... Okay, so that's left, that's right. Only reason I mention that is... I'm glad they do that. Okay, good, yeah, so everything's right there. For a second I thought those letters were reversed, which was weird. But this just flies right... The shoulder armor, it's held on by friction. And as soon as this twists the wrong way, it just slides right off. I was chasing after this piece so many times, and chasing after this piece so many times. It does not... It stays in there decent, but it doesn't hold in there tight. Especially when you start popping the wrist out and off, this goes flying out. There is pretty much no ab crunch. There is no ab crunch of the torso. Again, very much like Legion's 1.0. No butterfly joint, which I'm okay with that, to be honest, but it's not there. Neck is on a disc hinge, which is more than we get some Marvel Legends. The hair here on this figure does prevent him from looking up, but if you hit that with a hairdryer, you can kind of pull these out of the way. So, overall, it's a beautiful sculpt, but a very basic body. If you are looking to get into crazy warrior positions, you are not going to do that with this guy, and you're going to have to fight a little on balance, because again, those joints are a little on the loose side. So far, these ankles hold up pretty decent, but we never know how that's going to go once you start popping and swapping. And that's something else to keep in mind. If you do a lot of popping and swapping, that's going to wear those joints out. You want to have some kind of joint tightener like Kiki. See, now that just popped out. But you need some joint tightener like Kiki, and that'll help keep things together. Then you get your accessories, which does have a pretty decent set of, don't get me wrong. Now, I like asymmetry. It's one of my favorite things. It just gives me, I think it gives my character's character. So I don't mind the fact he's got one piece of armor here, no armor there. Bandaged arm here, empty hand here. I do like that all the accessory hands are also asymmetric. So he's got his gesturing hands, one gloved, one not. Fists, one gloved, one not. Open hands, one bandaged, not gloved, but one bandaged, one not. And then finally we have our holding hands, which helps if I put them on the right side, but the same scenario. Also, I do like that the holding hands are on vertical hinges, which goes for his weapons. I love this staff. I think this staff is very, very cool. The detail is beautiful. The little circuitry going in the blade, the wiring on here, the cables. This is a very, very cool bladed staff. I think this is actually one of the neatest double-edged staff I've seen, especially for a science fiction weapon. He also has this sword, and at first I loved this thing, and then I really kind of started looking at it. Because I think this is upside down. It's a shame this isn't modular. You can't open it up and pop it loose. And the reason I say that is when you grab a holding hand, such as this, it's natural for it to be held like this. You can see there's a cut in here. This kind of hides over the thumb, sort of like a pistol grip. That makes sense. Except, how is he supposed to be slicing like this? This energy blade is actually on the inside. Blade-wise, it should be like this, but it does not hold well at all like that. You know, you'd think that would be more of a knuckle guard going over here. Fine. But the rest, it does not hold in that hand very well at all. So it actually holds much more naturally like this. But, again, if this part, the energy is supposed to be the blade, that's inverted. And that bugs me very much. Because, I like continuity, I like all that. It just defeats the purpose. Unless this guy's supposed to be like Kenshin with a reverse-sided katana, yeah, he can't do any damage with this thing at all. He can. It's a blunt object that you can awkwardly cut with, unless he's got some very odd sword style. And you cannot even reverse blade hold it. It does not feel right for that, to have it brought in this way. Looks cool, but again, does not feel natural for him to hold it like that at all. So that for me is a very bad look for details. And again, I find that, that is an objective decision, objective opinion, because again, it doesn't look right for him to hold his blade properly. We also get a face mask, which actually holds on very much like that Taki figure I had the other week, where there's two little gaps in his face, and that just plugs in there, and that looks pretty decent. I mean, it reminds me of Glacier from WCW, or somebody from Killer Instinct, to be honest. It's a cool look. I won't deny that. Finally, we've got this. This is basically you can plug the staff on there, and this is supposed to be a little harness that he can hold it on his back. Here's the problem. For the last 2.5 hours, I cannot get this into there. I don't know if it's how the rock sculpting is or what, but this will not go into there. I could probably sand this down 1 millimeter and that might help, but when they cut that slot and they made this, they are not the same size. I get you want that to be a little smaller to have a little bit of friction, but this is really not fitting in at all. And that's just not good. You put a feature in that we can't use, and that's not cool. Opposite, now some figures have chest armor, and when the chest armor pops in, there's actually a gap in his chest. This is for if you do decide to use that chest armor, and when you got the block plate here, This fits in fine. So that does what it's supposed to do. But this, yeah. So again, I can't have him all geared up unless I want to have him holding a weapon in each hand. Also, it'd been kind of cool if he had somewhere to hold the sword here, but I can forgive that, you know. Is that? No, it doesn't. No, that can't fit in that notch. That would have been kind of cool if it could. That would be almost like a gauntlet blade. But yeah, that's the overview of this guy. Before I do the final thoughts, this is the first time I've had him put the staff in, and that, yeah, I guess that holds okay, but that is a loose hold in there. That is definitely a loose hold. I mean, if you find the sweet spot, you get a little bit of friction, but yeah, that armor popped off, and it's hard when I was putting it on there. I had the elbow going the wrong way. That just does not look cool. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This is not one of my favorite toys I've bought this year, if you haven't figured out. So who is this figure for? This figure is for those who love their Cosmic Legions. I enjoy my Cosmic Legions, but I don't love them. This is the person who's got a hardcore sci-fi shelf. These would look great with a Master Chief figure, fighting your Master Chief. This is not for somebody who loves all the articulation. This is not for someone who's posing like a champ, because you're going to get rudimentary poses out of this. This is not bad, but this definitely could have been better. And it's a shame. Huh. I wonder where that came from. I must have shaved off from a joint. Anyway, it's a shame because Metatravelers did a fantastic job in their marketing, a fantastic job documenting the journey of these figures. I mean, all of that was so well done. Their promotional work was great. Their transparency was amazing. You know, I will not fault these guys for how they documented the journey for these guys to come through. It's just the destination. The destination's decent, but at the same time, it just felt like it could have been more, honestly. Just a little bit more love, a little bit more time. And I know they took up plenty of time. They had so many things going against them, and they worked with it. I cannot fault how the company dealt with the people, talked with the fans. I cannot fault a single thing about that. They were absolutely amazing in their project management. And again, their transparency. I have no fault with Metatravelers at all as people, as businessmen. But the engineer, off by a couple millimeters, that makes a difference. The weapon being loose in the hand, that makes a difference. The armor plates falling off every other time you move things around, that is a challenge for me. That is an issue for me. I'm sorry. This just, it bugs my geek obsessive disorder on here. I like my weapons to be functional too. I get it looks cool. It does. I mean, it looks very cool. But again, I'm hitting him with the metal side here. I'm not hitting with the laser blade. What's going on here, folks? What is going on? So, if you didn't order these guys, but you are interested in them, don't pay scalper prices on eBay. You know, I don't want to say wait for the raw sale, but wait for the hype to die, and hopefully you'll be able to get it at a very decent deal. Or get yourself your own good trade for it, you know, that type of thing. Again, I bought 6 of these guys. My money went into this. I have the Founders Kit, all that fun stuff. I got the free little stand and everything. And I'm thankful for having them. I'm not sure if I'll be keeping them, to be honest. Shelf space is becoming premium real estate here, and I want to put it for things I want to stay behind. You know, I totally want it back. And I'll be opening up the other figures. Hopefully I'll be able to get pictures of them on Instagram. So maybe my impressions will change as I go through them. But as of right now, if I was going to give this guy a rating, or like a letter grade, you know, B-, C+. It's got beautiful things going for it. Again, the soft goods are great. The paint is nice. The details are where I want them to be. But the important parts of the execution, you know, effort gets you only so far. But when you start putting it into action, that's where you gotta be judged. And I'm judging. Again, it's my money. I bought the privilege to be picky about it. This was not handed to me. This was not shipped to me. I'm not being spiteful about that. I'm just letting you know. I paid money for it. These are my thoughts. But let me know your thoughts down below. Did you back this project? Did you have similar issues? Or, Dave, you're doing something wrong. This is what you should be doing. That's what the comment section is for down below. Please, if you are new here, join the club. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. I got so many things to talk about on this channel. So many more toys, and I'd love to have you all with me. But most importantly, as always, until next time, my friends, take care. Peace.